story goes that he once not only made the Rebbe smile, but he actually made the Rebbe laugh. This chassid was very connected to Pesach. He was the Makri of the Agoda, Rabbi Yankel Katz, and he once consulted with the Rebbe regarding investing in a particular business investment, and the Rebbe advised him against it. Lepel, it looked very tempting, and in his mind he had different ways of interpreting. Perhaps the Rebbe didn't relate to this part and that part. And after a while, the deal was too tempting, and he went for the deal. As we can all imagine, the deal went very sour. And after a while, he came to the Rebbe for Yechidus. He comes into Yechidus, and he asked the Rebbe if he can share a story. The Rebbe gesagt, yeah, I can erzählen. So he said the story about the fellow who came to town and had gesucht. He was looking for a home to do a geneva. He was a roaming ganev, and he would go from town to town and try to find the homes that were best targets for him to enter. So Kongresse Chochem is nicht gewesen. So he comes to a town, and it's dunkel. If it's dark, how's he going to see his way around the house? He has to find a home that sein lichtig. So he looks around, he finds a home. He sees the home is beleuchten, and he tries to get in here. The door's locked here, door's locked there, no windows. He crawls up on the chimney, and he starts crawling down the chimney, and he comes in and he lands inside the house. To his utter shock and dismay, stellt sich weg, and he's standing there in front of the Rav of the city, who was sitting and learning at his table. The Rav looks up at him, found from the chimney, and asks him, what's this all about? He says, ich bin gekommen fragen a Scheile beim Rav. So the Rav looks at him, and he says, frag. He says, Rebbe, wie kriegt man von dannen da raus? What's the fastest way out of here? Today, every chassid is surely thinking of what is it a gift that we are going to give to the Rebbe. And there's no doubt that every idea, every inyan what the Rebbe will is tired. There's countless heroes, hadraches, in Yonim that the Rebbe wants a chassid to live by. And they're all kulam ahuvim, kulam berurim, and kulam eisim, be'em or be'yirah, retzein kainam. Everything is very, very tired by Rebbe. But if we're looking for something that is all-encompassing, it's not only in addition to all the pratim, but something that's more a klolizdik gift, something that will not only involve part of us, part of our time, part of our schedule, part of our lives, but something that will permeate every moment of our lives, every area of our lives, is definitely something which stands bereisha b'rishena of something that we can give a gift to the Rebbe. And it sounds somewhat beyond us. But not only is it beyond us, but the Rebbe expressed clearly that this is an area that is so dear to the Rebbe, that the words that Rebbe used to express how dear this is to him is unparalleled in any other bakasha hira of the Rebbe in all the years. Unparalleled in many ways over. The Rebbe used the term bakasha nafshis. Now there were times that Rebbe used bakasha nafshis, but then the Rebbe said it's not really bakasha nafshis. It's much, much more than bakasha nafshis. Leis ata, loy matzasi, bitur yoiser masim. I have not yet found a term to clearly identify how dear and precious this is. So for lack of better words, I'm using Bakasha Nafshis, but it's much more than Bakasha Nafshis. Do we imagine what this means? The Rebbe is sharing with us something that is so dear, so precious to the Rebbe. And really, in essence, if we're thinking about our gift to the Rebbe, this is really the Rebbe's greatest gift to us. Where the Rebbe is sharing with us that we can do something that will fulfill the deepest bakasha, the deepest nafshizik bakasha of the Rebbe. And we all know what that is. Asay L'cha Rav. Why is Asay L'cha Rav all encompassing? Because it relates to every area of our lives. In countless sikhs, the Rebbe talks about how Asay L'cha Rav is not limited only in Aveda. It's not limited only in a particular tchum of life, but the Rebbe really wants us to have a relationship and a connection with our Rav in which we seek guidance, direction, literally in every area. That we shouldn't fall into a situation where we have to ask, Wie kriegt man von danet areis? The Rebbe, which is Etzem Hatev. And the Rebbe is giving us a gift that we won't fall. The Rebbe insists that we hold on tight to every area of the Rebbe's directives, which comes through the channel of Asay L'cha Rav. The Rebbe even used expressions that if it needs be, he'll even use an iyum, a threat. That when a Yid writes to the Rebbe, before the Rebbe answers, the Rebbe will ask him, do you have a Rav? And I will ask, tell me the name of your Rav. To that extent, a Yid writes to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe is making conditions before the Rebbe is answering. But ulai, what the Rebbe is saying is not a condition. My channel of my answer, my hadracha, my direction is coming through your Asay L'cha Rav. And it's one area that we can only sit and imagine. Imagine a life without any daiga. Imagine a life that we're not questioning, are we doing the Rebbe's kavanah or not? Imagine a life where in every area of our lives, whether it's at home, shalom bayis, chinuch of the children, parnasa, any area that might come up in life, we immediately have whom to contact. And we know that when we follow that direction, it is clearly connecting to the Rebbe's guidance, the Rebbe's direction, and is mitzug gebunden lamayla. That imagination is reality. All it takes is for us to pick up a call, a phone. We can do it here in 770 right now at the Farbrengen. We can do it as we come home. But in this meisles, it's the greatest gift that the Rebbe wants from every chassid. If we already have Asay L'cha Rav, let's ask ourselves, do we have the connection the way the Rebbe wants it? Is it really something that I have a relationship and I'm really in contact with him? And the Rebbe speaks about the Aved of Yetzias Mitzrayim in two extremes. It was Vahi B'chtzia Laila and was Vahi Be'etzem Hayom Hazeh. Whether it's areas of Laila that Rachman Litzlan Amol we fall into a matzav that we have to ask ourselves, Wie kriegt man areis? A Yid has to know there's Yetzias Mitzrayim. Pick up a phone to Asay L'cha Rav and shem zich up and get guidance, and he'll take you out of your blottis. And if it's a matzav that we're in Vahiba Etzem Hayom Hazeh, we're on a smooth ride, things are going well, the Rebbe insists we also need Asay L'cha Rav. Every chassid in every area, in every tchum, whether it's B'chtzia Laila or in areas in his life that is B'chtzia Laila, he's struggling in a particular challenge, or in the areas Vusabem Lichtig, we all need Yetzias Mitzrayim. So the Rebbe geben that when we connect, especially now in the final moments where the Rebbe tells us at the same time when we are in Yemei Samashiach Bohem Nimtsoyim Ata, the Rebbe tells us in the famous Sikha Chanukah Nun Beis, Shabbos Chanukah, the Rebbe spoke about that at the same time when there's a sneitzitzus of Eir HaGeula, when we're already having Eir Shal Mashiach, the forces of darkness are trying to combat that. How is it if we're speaking about Geula, why is there so much darkness in the world? And the Rebbe says it's precisely because there's such a powerful light of Geula emerging, that's why simultaneously the forces of evil are trying to combat that. Now more than ever, the Rebbe, as the Rebbe prophesied everything throughout history, the Rebbe prophesied the moments we're here now, and that's why the Rebbe prepared us to have the Asay L'cha Rav, to hold us strong in these final moments, that we remain connected 24/7 every day and every moment of our day with the Rebbe. A Yid knows, a Chassid knows, I have no opinions, I have no views. a situation comes up, was sagt der Rebbe? Asay l'charav. And the Rebbe is surely, as the Rebbe expressed it about Kasha Nafshes, this is surely going to fulfill the Rebbe's Makasha, which is definitely the greatest gift that we can all give in addition to all the Matanas Pratis that we're giving to the Rebbe. Is all the Rebbe Shtegeben, that we should all see Atzlacha in Al Enyanim. We should reach the moment of Layilmedu Eid Ishmiz Mere'eyu Ki Kulam Yedu Eisil Miktanam Vagdeilam. We should see this gals of the Rebbe Teikif Umiyad Mamish. Good Yontif.
Shkeya Harav Ginsburg. You know, on Kapitel Kuf Yud Ches, we have some nigunim from Rabbi Seinu Nisiyenu. We actually sing, and the Rebbe says to sing the nigunim from Rabbi Seinu Nisiyenu. Takago ala Seder. Yemin Hashem Reimeima, Yemin Hashem Eisachayil, Yemin Hashem Reimeima, Yemin Hashem Eisachayil, Raya, ya Yemin Hashem Reimeima, Yemin Hashem Eisachayil, Yemin Hashem Reimeima, Yemin Hashem. Ya Yemin Hashem Reimeima, Yemin Hashem Reimeima, Yemin Hashem Eisachayil, ya Yemin Hashem Reimeima, Yemin Hashem Eisachayil, Yemin Hashem Reimeima, Yemin Hashem Eisachayil, ya Keli atov yoideko eleikai reimimeko Keli atov yoideko Elikayarei memeka Keliyata Ayarei memeka Keliyata V'yodeka Elikayarei 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 memeka. No, on Pesach, when we sing Keliyata, it's the end of the Seder already. But we still have a lot of the Farbrengen left. Hashem. We'd now like to ask the younger Mashpiyim, Rabbi Yisrael Neach Lipsker, Mashpiyah, Shivas Temchet Tvimim, Lubavitch, Queens, Farbrengen, the Eilam, L'Kovid Yemaboy, Ralph Nissan. Rabbi Yisrael Neach Lipsker. Huh?
Chaim l'chaim. Good Yom Tov. The Frierdiker Rebbe once asked Reb Michal Teitelbaum to open up a mikveh in a certain city. Take it off. So Reb Michal, for whatever reason, couldn't get a ticket to the train. So he jumped on to the side of the train. And he was holding on to the side of the train, and the train is moving. I don't know what he was originally planning, but the train is moving. His hands are getting cold, and they start freezing. And he feels like he can't anymore. He needs to let go. And letting go obviously meant that he wasn't gonna make it. So he's about to let go. He can't anymore. And then he starts thinking about his family. And he thinks that at least for my family, let me hold on tight. And that gives him new energy. And he's holding on tight to the side of the train and he's going weiter. After a certain period of time, even thinking about his family, wasn't able to give him the koyach to hold on to the train. And he was about to let go again. And this time, he starts thinking if he's gonna let go, he's gonna fall, and he's not gonna be buried like a yid. So, again, that gives him a new koyach to hold on, wants to be buried like a yid. Doesn't want to drop, and his body should just be on the side of the train tracks. So he's holding on tight. And again, after a certain period of time, he can't anymore. Not his own life, not his family, not his Kfuras Yisrael, none of those. And he's about to let go, and all of a sudden he thinks, aber the Rebbe will a mikveh in this city. All of my cheshbonis were totally off until now. The Rebbe will a mikveh in this city. If I let go, the Rebbe's not going to have the mikveh in the city. And that got him to create the mikveh, and he lived much longer. Ano Nosiv Malka. Hasidim, there were Hasidim of different groups sitting together. And they were discussing the gadlus of their Rebbes. So one Chassid starts talking about the gadlus of his Rebbe. And he says, my Rebbe is greater than Avraham Avinu. How's your Rebbe greater than Avraham Avinu? So he gives a hasbara why his Rebbe did something that Avraham Avinu didn't do. The next chassid says, Avraham Avinu, my Rebbe is greater than Moshe Rabbeinu. Why Moshe Rabbeinu? And he's masber, why Moshe Rabbeinu? My Rebbe is greater than Eliyahu Hanavi. Every chassid is saying who his Rebbe is greater than. Finally, it's the Lubavitcher's chassid's turn. So they all turn to the Lubavitcher, and they're waiting for some radical, what's he gonna say? They already said Avraham, Moshe, Eliyahu, they already said everybody. Who's he gonna say? So the Lubavitcher says, mein Rebbe is Gresser von mir. So all the Chassidim start laughing. Wer bist du bechlal? We're talking about Moshe, Avraham, Eliyahu. Dein Rebbe is Gresser von dir. So he explained that the fact that a Rebbe is Gresser from somebody else, but er is nicht Gresser von dir, that when your Rebbe wants something, und du willst anders, wer gewinnt? Who wins? Who's more powerful, you or your Rebbe? Who comes first, you or your Rebbe? So es ist gar nicht wert. Like the Rebbe, everybody knows the video, where someone comes by the Rebbe, and the Rebbe continues a conversation with him from 18 years earlier. And his mouth literally drops, and he says, Rebbe, you're amazing. And the Rebbe right away responds, what does it help if I'm amazing for the community? In other words, my being amazing has to have some sort of effect. So the Chassid says, my Rebbe is bigger than me. That's it that matters. Who comes first, me or him? And this is a Yesod in Chassidus, obviously, Bittul, that it's not about me, it's about the Rebbe. And this is a very general Nekudah, but I want to talk about a specific Nekudah. This is something that encompasses a Chassid's life, Bittul, and it can be expressed in many ways. Is it about you or about the Rebbe? But I want to talk about one specific Nekudah. Are you allowed to ask for it to be quiet for your own drasha? Shh. In the first Maimer of the Rebbe told us that we need to be like Avraham Avinu and not like Rabbi Akiva. In other words, not to look dafka and only for big, glorious avodah, but to do what's needed of you. Hat nit gesucht mesiras nefesh. He did what was needed of him at the time. There's a mashal of a king that needed to go over a body of water. And the king needed to go adurch. So right away the soldiers began to fall into the water, one after the next. and one layer of soldiers, and another layer of soldiers, and another layer of soldiers, until finally there was a layer of soldiers, and the king was able to go across. And after all of those soldiers that got their faces dirty and wet, and the king walked on their backs, got up, and they got medals, and they got paraded, and they got recognized and noticed. And in the meantime, all the guys that were on the bottom, they weren't noticed. They weren't around to be noticed. Very often, a person's avodah, where a person is in his life, is not so paraded. He's doing his avodah, he's doing what he needs to do, but it's not such a chashav avodah. It's a klein avodah. And he tainas and he wants a chashav avodah that's noticed. Everybody should say about him, oh, a chassidus yid. He's doing off a lot of pulis, grace binyanim. Will dein Gan Eden, dein Olam Haba. He wants to live in a certain Gan Eden, a certain Olam Haba. Will nicht tun, was man sich von ihm. My avodah is a pashut, simple avodah. The Rebbe might want that from me, aber ich will Gan Eden and Olam Haba. The Frierdiker Rebbe once told Reb Itche the Masmid, Itche, Tomer tust du in Tineke shal beis Rabban in Tashbar, bist du meiner. Tomer nicht, Itche bist du, aber meiner bist du nicht. Gan Eden, Olam Haba, Itche the Masmid, aber meiner, dich allein, hast du nicht, if you're not doing your avodah. If du suchst etwas anders. My grandfather, Rabbi Yaakov Yehuda Majeski, I was told over the story by my uncle, Reb Chaim Majeski, and the story goes like this. After the 6-Day War, the Rebbe told my grandfather in Yechidus that there are Kama Irgunim, there are different organizations that are sending Sifrei Torah to Eretz Yisrael. And the Rebbe asked my grandfather to bring a Torah from young Israel to Yerushalayim, which he did. He brought a Sefer Torah, there's pictures, he brought the Sefer Torah with him on the plane, and he went and he brought it to Yerushalayim. And for some reason, they decided that they'll wait for him to leave Eretz Yisrael before they make the whole shturim, before they make the whole Hachnasa Sefer Torah. And they waited and he left, and then they made the whole shturim. And he was very hurt. He was hurt that the whole shturim was made after he left. And he wrote about that in his duch to the Rebbe. The next Kaisho Bracha, when he was coming by the Rebbe told him, der Iker is as meveis da und dorten. The main thing is that I know, basically the Rebbe was saying, and the Eibishter knows. That's the main thing. The ganze Shturim, the ganze Zach, that's not the main Iker. The Iker is that I know, and the Eibishter knows. The Rebbe once explained, it's in a Mugadik Sicha, that in a home, in a house, there's a certain room, the Rebbe called it, that's Pater me Mezuzah. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out which room that is. There's a certain room in everybody's house that has that's Pater from a Mezuzah. And if the house doesn't have that room, it's called a Beis HaKisei. If a house doesn't have a bathroom, then it's not a house. You can't live in such a house. So the Rebbe explained like this. The Eibishter wants a dira. The Eibishter wants a home. And in this home, there are some very beautiful rooms, there are some living rooms and dining rooms and other beautiful rooms, and then there's another room. It's not a very beautiful, glorious room. Hagam today, in many houses, it's maybe the most chashuv room. But it's not officially a room that needs to be like that. It's needed because it's needed. So the Rebbe said, maybe your avodah in our world is not the living room, not the dining room. But it's a room that's needed. What you do is needed. Willst du mir, meiner? You want to know what I need? Or you want to do something that's chashuv, that's big? So just to bring it down, the nekuda is, I will tanfar in Rebbe. If you're trying to do the Rebbe's work, you have to ask the Rebbe what he wants. And sometimes it's small things. Sometimes it's not Rabbi Akiva Mesiras Nefesh. Sometimes it's small, but that's what the Rebbe wants from you. So Bacharim Lamashal, a Bachar needs to know that in the time of Starim, Sidrei HaYeshiva, that's what's meant from him, to learn Sidrei HaYeshiva. He's not carrying a Welt, he's not on Mivtzayim, but the Rebbe wants him to do what the Rebbe wants from him. Sitz und lern Nigla. When it's time for Mitzayim, darf man tun Mitzayim. But whatever's meant from you, Oib mevil, dich allein, Oib mevil an non nosiv malka, then you got to do what the Rebbe wants from you. Not, you can't look for something else, even if it's more, feels better. Gan Eden, Elam Haba. Al derech zeh, some people that are maybe not so recognized and not so glorified, but at least I'm taking the chutzpah maybe to officially recognize and glorify this nekuda of Anonos of Malka. You have the people that are in chinuch, the mechanchim. You have parents that are doing their avodah, they're doing what the Eibishter wants from them, b'mesira v'nesina. They're doing it with all the yud keiches, shliach with the yud. And these chevra have to know, they have to know that they may sometimes feel like they're on the bottom of the water. They're teaching kids Aleph Beis, but they're doing it like shluchim. They're doing it b'mesira v'nesina. They're teaching kids chumash. Every person in their own avodah. You have those that need to work in the house, that are busy cooking and cleaning. Clean avodas. But they're doing it b'mesira v'nesina. They have to know b'mokei masher ata oimed aleo admas koidashu. You have to know, and all of these have to know, that very often, those that are able to bring the Rebbe across the ocean to all corners of the world, they bring the Rebbe across the ocean. Very often, they're geboit from Vanem Vesen Ze Aleph Beis. Who are they nischanich by? Their parents. Their mechanchim. So it could be very often a mechanich could feel niderek, small, like he's not doing anything. He's on the bottom of the ocean. Aber dar wissen that every shliach that's mekarev, every yid that he's mekarev is a daink oichedir. Because you did your shlichus b'mesira v'nesina. So I just want to be Messiah with one story, a chashuv maisa. I don't know the makar, but it's a very chashuv maisa. That Reb Zalman Jaffe was once understood from the Rebbe that he should sing, I think it was by Haderes V'Amunah. I think he said to the Rebbe, why is the minhag not like that over here? And the Rebbe said, in a chanami, it should be like that. So he got up by the Amud, and he started to sing Haderes V'Amunah. So obviously, all the Chassidim right away start looking at the Rebbe. Is the Rebbe being ma'ided him or not? And the Rebbe is not being ma'ided him. And he I mean, anybody that read a little bit about him knows that if he was able to have a conversation with the Rebbe, he would tell the Rebbe, come on, what's going on over here? You got to stand behind me. So that was going on in his mind. He's thinking to the Rebbe, come on, you're the one that asked me to do this. You have to be ma'ided. And the Rebbe's not being ma'ided, so the whole crowd is quiet. And he's singing. And the Rebbe's not being ma'ided, and that's the way it ended. That's the way the story ended. Asachmal, there's a lot of times that you're doing your thing. You know that that's what the Rebbe wants from you. And Allah Rumdir, it could be look at you like a nifrid. Was singst du? Was stürmst du? Was tust du bichlal? You're a bacher. Lens Gemara bissel. You're coming on time to start him. Wer bist du? You're not baki in the sikhs could be because you don't learn during Niglach Siddis. Wer bist du? A nifrid. Was singst du? And this bacher, it could be, is not being decided by the Rebbe. The Rebbe doesn't all of a sudden make that everybody should have a dream that this bacher is really a chassid. The Rebbe doesn't come and be ma'ided and say, he's right. Nein, Veis. Zalman Jaffe knew that the Rebbe wanted him to do kach v'kach. The Rebbe wanted him, as soll singen, und hat gesungen. He knew that's what the Rebbe wanted from him. So we all have to know, was will the Rebbe von dir? Mokim asher ato oimed aleh. Wir darf wissen, was der Rebbe will von mir in mein Ort. What does the Rebbe want from me? And if I'm going to zuch for Rabbi Akiva, zuch in Mesiras Nefesh, if that's not what the Rebbe wants from you, Gan Eden hast du, Olam Haba hast du, aber meiner bist du nicht, Chas v'sholom. Dich allein hast du nicht. So we should all be zeiche, as we soll trachten be'emes. Was will the Rebbe von mir? What does the Rebbe want from me? And be'ezes Hashem is kennen zogen. We should be able to say to the Rebbe tonight, Ano nosiv malka, Ano avdo de kutsha bricho. And besignen hayodua, we should all be able to scream and sing to the Rebbe, Yechi Adinenu Mereinu V'Rabbeinu Melech HaMashiach La'elam Vod.
Shkayach, Rabbi Salneach. As we said before, when you learn Maim of the Rebbe from Yantiv, it's a whole different Yantiv. You'll have a whole different Pesach. Take one Maim of the Rebbe, it's in a whole different level, whole different Yantiv. He's mentioning the Anon Nosiv Malka, the famous classic Maimer, B'yem Ashtei Yosser, Nosi Livnei Yosher. That's a whole different Yer Aleph Nissen. So you say it in Deir HaShvi, the Rebbe's Maimer for Yer Aleph Nissen, Anon Nosiv Malka, which is bemis the same Nekuda of the Maimer V'ata Tetzave Purim Kotten. Yid wants Geula even in the Merchav. That's the Ich will garnish, Ich will nar dir allein. Now I'd like to ask Shliach from the Rebbe, Mashpia, in Johannesburg, South Africa, Rav Yosef Yitzchak Kesselman. It's Magrissen de Farbrengen, Lekavad Yem Aboyer, Yer Aleph Nissen, Rav Kesselman.
L'chaim, l'chaim. A good Yantef. L'chaim, l'chaim. ביקשו שנדבר בעברית, מקווה שנדבר בקיצור. בהשגחה פרטית, בדרך לפה, היום בלילה, דיברתי עם שליח מצליח, אומר לי שיש לו בעיה עם העניין של משיח. הוא מתקשה בזה, להאמין, לרצות, לחיות, הוא מתקשה בזה. מה צריך לעשות בזה? אז האמת הוא שהרבי אמר את זה בחוף חס ניסן תשנ"א, שאומרים אדמוסי מן הסופה ולחוץ, ומוחאים עם הכפיים מן הידיים ולחוץ. הרבי אמר אחר כך גם כשרואים שקשה לחיות עם העניין של משיח, זאת אומרת שהעניין העיקרי שעכשיו כל אחד צריך, הרבי מביא את הסמך דוד עבדך מארץ עצמך תורם בשעשיך כאילו שעושך קיווינו כל היום. בגלל הכיווי, עד בגלל זה לבד, הגאולה תבוא. זאת אומרת שלחיות עם הגאולה, לחיות עם משיח, לרצות ולהאמין. אז הרבי אומר שדבר שזה לא מגיע בקלות, ולכן צריך על זה כוח בלי גבול, וזה דווקא בא לידי ללמוד את העניינים האלה. זאת אומרת, בי"א ניסן, במיוחד שזה קשור עם העניין של יציאת מצרים, צריך לדעת שנותנים לנו את הכוחות, הרבי נותן לנו את הכוחות, להיות חסידים אמיתיים של הרבי, ולעשות מה שהרבי נותן לנו לעשות. ולעשות את זה באמת ובפנימיוס, איך שהרבי רוצה שנעשה את זה, מה שהרבי רוצה שנעשה, איך שהרבי רוצה שנעשה את זה. וכשבן אדם יחליט ללכת על זה, ולעשות מה שהרבי אומר כדי לעשות את זה, אז הוא יכול להביא אז הוא יצליח. וזה עניין מאוד רציני, שלכאורה כל אחד נוסע, הרבי כותב שבן אדם, יכול להיות שהנפש הבאמץ, יכול להיות שאפילו הנפש של הכיס, נכניס את הבן אדם להתעסק בדברים טובים כדי שלא יעשה בעניין בשליחות העיקרית שלו. צריכים לזכור מה השליחות העיקרית שלנו, שהרבי נתן לנו, שהוא מסר לכל אחד ואחד מאיתנו להביא את הגאולה. ואני צריך להתמסר בזה ברצינות, זה לא משחק ולא במשחקים נצליח, וצריך להתחיל לעשות את זה ברצינות ולאט לאט, ונביא את הגאולה הרבה יותר ממה שאנחנו חושבים. לחיים לחיים, משיח נע, יחי המלך.
Shkoyach, Rav Kesselman. I'd like to wish also Rav Kesselman a special bracha. Just finished the shleishim for his illustrious father, Rav Chosid Amafursim, Mashpia Amafursim, Rav Zev Kesselman, Chabad. I should have only simchas, achteva chesed, im zuuchem tamid kol hayomim. Kitza veranenu sheikh neyafar v'hu betechem u'bereisham simchas eilam al reisham. Halachas kama v'kama tevach v'olom chopeles lamakeim aleinu. Halachas kama v'kama tevach v'olom chopeles lamakeim aleinu. Sheitzianu mimitzrayim, sheitzianu mimitzrayim. Alara, ya ma 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 ma. Alara, ya ya. Alara, ya ya. Alara, Yalachas kama v'kama tevach v'lo umcho lama kema. Oh, alachas kama v'kama tevach v'lo umcho Aleinu she'etziyanu mimitzrayim. She'etziyanu mimitzrayim. Ay, ay, ay.
Gelingt nach vorne.
יהי הרוצה מפונכו השם אלוהינו ואלוהי אבו יסיינו
darf machen a Brach achreina, sicher machen a Brach achreina. darf machen a Brach achreina, sicher machen a Brach achreina.
Just like to announce the Farbrengen is also l'schus. Rabbi Yaakov Yitzchak Dave Alevi ben Chaya Rachel. Avram Michal Alevi ben Sprinzer Rachel Ebrias Anachena. Levi Yitzchak ben Shena Dveira HaKayin. Rabbi Yosef ben Esther Latzlacha. Nachas Ruach Sidi Shanachas. Meisha ben Rezel Rivka. B'chol Mishpachte Sheyichyu. Shalom Deiber ben Sarah, Lebrias Anachena, Aliyadidei Rabat Chele ben Fege, Menachem ben Sarah, Latzlacha, Ubrias. En alle bestaatfen in de Farbrengen, van Yuchad Atzlacha, Rabu Meflagelich, allen Jannen van Rebben Bechlal, Yuchad Beretz Akede, zal zijn die dan Natzach Muchla. Whoever wants to be a Mestatev, the schus of the Farbrengen, to give over to Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Kratz, or on the site 770shul.org.
Shira Ma'alois. Rabbi Simon willen benchen. Yeish Adonai meverach mit aviad oilom birshus Adonai nevorenu verabenu melech HaMashiach miranu verabanu Rabbi Simon nevorech Eloheinu she'achal mishaloi Baruch Eloheinu she'achal mishaloi v'tavoi chayinu Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech oilom Como posejas yodecho, mas pelo chayrot so im brochato adinoi azon esakel. Noi de Rachim, Adonai, Shalom Lechem, Yushalom Lechem, Altzim, Mishkan, 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 Rabbi, Sokol, Gubishim, Kashim, Ala Vela, Yeheinu, Avinu, Yeheinu, 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 Beno Adat Zefim, Uvnei Yerushalayim Ed HaKodesh, B'mheira v'yameinu, Baruch atah Adonai, B'nei v'rachamav Yerushalayim, Amen. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam b'rei pri hagofen.
Yishakech Rav Samuels, Yishakech Rav Bak. Sein 10-15 Minuten ein bisschen Tanz mit dem neuen Kapitel.
Lernen.